This meeting of the School Board of the City of Virginia Beach is now in session. This is our formal meeting format. I ask my colleagues to acknowledge their presence on the voting board, please. Please rise as you are able for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We will now proceed with our public awards and recognitions. Mrs. Melnick.
I'm going to silence.
Sure did.
The school board is pleased to recognize Virginia Beach City Public Schools Chief Academic Officer, Dr. Amy Cashwell. Dr. Cashwell was recently selected as a 2017 Top 30 Technologists, Transformers, and Trailblazers honoree, a distinction presented by the Center for Digital Education. This annual award recognizes people and organizations who are moving the needle in K-12 and higher education. They are the bold decision makers who, according to the organization, are visionaries in increasing and advocating for technology in schools, as well as using it as a catalyst to improve the personalization of learning. Dr. Cashwell has done just that in VBCPS. She is recognized for her leadership and transformational work to support the school division's digital learning goals, including establishing the Digital Learning Anchor Schools initiative and establishing best practices to support the expansion of digital learning in all of the division schools. Dr. Cashwell's leadership also brought about organizational change that today provides a school-based instructional technology support program in every school, as well as ongoing professional learning for those instructional coaches. She is indeed a trailblazer and a transformer, and for that, we congratulate her on this well-deserved award. Congratulations.
I ask that everyone join me in a moment of silence, which I forgot to do earlier. Thank you. Dr. Spence, we look forward to hearing the superintendent's report.
Thank you, and good evening, Madam Chairwoman and members of the board. I'm happy to share with you the 5 things that you need to know about VBCPS this October. At number 1, it is National School Lunch Week this week. So I want to take this opportunity to thank all of the amazing men and women in our Office of Food Services and in our cafeterias around the division who ensure that our students are not only fed, but fed well and ready to take on the day. Last year alone, our staff served more than 8.47 million meals to students, which is a staggering number. But more impressively, staff works to ensure students have healthy options. According to Food Services Director John Smith, all pasta dishes are whole grain, for example. We offer a wide variety of salads every single day at every grade level. Fruits and vegetables are now required components of meals. Fats are gone, sodium's been reduced, and vendors are reformulating their food products to make them healthier for our students. So members of the board, if you're out visiting one of our schools, make sure to pop in the cafeteria for a healthy and tasty lunch. The second thing you should know this month is that the division was just awarded $60,000 in grants from the state of Virginia to help support safety measures and resources within our schools. According to our Office of Safety and Loss Control, this money will go to installing more access control entry points at our schools. And the timing of this grant is also pretty great, since October 15th to 21st is America's Safe Schools Week. So let me also highlight the incredible work our security teams are doing to ensure we're providing the safest possible learning environments for our students. At number 3, the list is out. The National Merit Scholarship Corporation has announced the names of approximately 16,000 semifinalists in the 63rd Annual National Merit Scholarship Program, and Virginia Beach is home to 10 of these semifinalists. These high school seniors now have an opportunity to continue in the competition for one of the 7,500 National Merit Scholarships, which will be awarded in the spring. So just very quickly, best of luck to Ocean Lakes High School's Rourke Corson, William Scheib, Rehan Syrange, and Ralph Sun. Princess Anne High School's Clement Boudin, Andreas Dam, Nathan Lee, Jonathan Pugh, and Naylan Ranjan, and to Salem High School's Jana Golliff. We will be rooting for you as the competition continues. At number 4, let me encourage all of our parents at home, if they've not already done so, to mark their calendars for this Thursday night. Navigating the Journey, our pre-K through 12 resource fair, is going to take place from 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. at the Virginia Beach Convention Center. This event really is planned to be a one-stop shop for all of the programs, pathways, and services available to students here in Virginia Beach. This event is for all VBCPS students, pre-K through their senior year, as well as their families. This year's fair will feature more than 50 exhibits and information tables for attendees, and Navigating the Journey is an expansion of our annual Academy and Advanced Academic Programs Night. Every one of the academies and advanced academic programs are still going to be represented at this year's fair, and each will have its own 25-minute breakout session for interested families. So for more information about this event, make sure to visit vbschools.com. And finally, at number 5, I'm happy to help recognize some of our board members here tonight. The Virginia School Boards Association has named its honorees for its annual VSBA Academy Awards. These awards recognize board members for their dedication, time, and work in improving boardsmanship skills through VSBA meetings, conferences, board development, and training and active involvement in the association. It should be noted that the awards are based on participation from July 1 to June 30th. Earning an Award of Achievement and the VSBA Bronze Pin are Mr. Joel McDonald and Miss Ashley McLeod, and earning an Award of Excellence and a Silver Pin this year are Vice Chair Dan Edwards and Miss Carolyn Rye. And finally, earning a Gold Pin and Award of Honor are Miss Sharon Felton and Chairwoman Beverly Anderson. So congratulations to all of you. And Madam Chairwoman, that completes my report.
Thank you, Dr. Spence. Madam Clerk, do we have any speakers on agenda items?
No, ma'am.
On the approval of our minutes from September 19th, the chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of our last meeting of September 19th. Motion is made by Ms. Holtz, seconded by Ms. Melnick. Voting board is open. And the chair notes that Mr. Edwards and Ms. Manning have abstained due to their absence on September 19th. The minutes of our September 19th meeting have been approved. As discussed in our workshop, we are amending our agenda to add an additional item this evening. We are adding to the action part of our agenda item B, which will be a vote to allow one of our colleagues, Mrs. Weems, to enter her application to be considered for the office of chair of the Tidewater Region for VSBA. Also, we are moving what was supposed to be item B from our action to information this evening, and it will be under information as 13F. So the chair will entertain a motion to adopt the agenda as amended. Ms. McLeod has made the motion, seconded by Mrs. Rye. The voting board is open. The agenda has been adopted as amended. The consent agenda has 3 resolutions this evening. The first is for the Filipino American History Month. The second is for Bullying Prevention Month, and the third is for Disability Awareness Month. Mrs. Riggs, will you please read the resolution for Filipino American History Month?
Resolution for Filipino American History Month, October 2017. Whereas one of our nation's greatest strengths is its vast diversity, which enables Americans to see the world from many viewpoints, and whereas Filipino Americans are an integral part of that diversity, and whereas it is imperative for the good of our nation that schools continue to build awareness and understanding of the contributions made by Filipino Americans, and whereas through the study of these contributions, all students may find role models whose participation, commitment, and achievement embodies the American spirit and ideals. And whereas the School Board of the City of Virginia Beach recognizes the importance of multicultural diversity education within our school division. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the School Board of the City of Virginia Beach officially recognizes the month of October 2017 as Filipino American History Month, and be it further resolved that the School Board of the City of Virginia Beach encourages all citizens to support and to participate in various school activities during Filipino American History Month, and be it finally resolved that a copy of this resolution be spread across the official minutes of this board, adopted by the School Board of the City of Virginia Beach this 10th day of October 2017.
Thank you, Mrs. Riggs. The chair recognizes Mrs. McLeod to read the resolution for Bullying Prevention Month.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Whereas bullying can take many forms, including verbal, physical, and most recently cyberspace, and may happen on and off of school grounds, and whereas it is important for Virginia Beach parents, students, and teachers, as well as school administrators, to be aware of bullying and to encourage discussion of the problem as a school community, and whereas the School Board of the City of Virginia Beach has a strategic focus on anti-bullying to encourage positive behaviors to eliminate bullying behaviors, and whereas Virginia Beach City Public Schools, through sustained and dedicated efforts, has implemented programs for all employees and students that recognize a deep commitment at all levels to raise awareness of bullying and its prevention. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the School Board of the City of Virginia Beach designate the month of October 2017 as Bullying Prevention Month in the Virginia Beach City Public Schools, and be it further resolved that the issue of bullying and its prevention be discussed in Virginia Beach City Public School classrooms during this time, and be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be spread across the official minutes of this board adopted by the School Board of the City of Virginia Beach this 10th day of October 2017.
Thank you, Mrs. McLeod. The chair now recognizes Mrs. Weems to read the resolution for Disability Awareness Month.
Whereas Americans with Disability Act of 1990 was founded on 4 principles: inclusion, full participation, economic self-sufficiency, and equality of opportunity for all people with disabilities, and whereas the Virginia General Assembly has designated the month of October as Disability History and Awareness Month to increase public awareness and respect for persons with disabilities, to inform the public concerning their many contributions to society, and to emphasize the abilities and rights of persons with disabilities rather than their exceptionalities. And whereas public schools, institutions of higher education, the business community, civic organizations, and other interested entities are encouraged to promote Disability History and Awareness Month in the Commonwealth of Virginia. And whereas the Virginia Department of Education's 2014 child count reported the Virginia Public School Divisions served 162,960 students with disabilities under the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, and Virginia Beach City Public Schools served 8,004 students with disabilities under the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. And whereas Virginia Beach City Public Schools believes in having the highest expectations for students with disabilities and believes that students with disabilities make significant academic and social progress when educated in general education environments. And whereas it is necessary to increase public awareness, knowledge, and understanding of disabilities, the rights of persons with disabilities, and to foster a culture of mutual respect and equal opportunities for all in our schools, businesses, and communities. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the School Board of the City of Virginia Beach officially recognizes the month of October 2017 as Disability History and Awareness Month, and be it further resolved that the School Board of the City of Virginia Beach encourages all citizens to support and participate in the various school activities during Disability History and Awareness Month, and be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be spread across the official minutes of this board, adopted by the School Board of the city of Virginia Beach this 10th day of October, 2017.
Thank you, Mrs. Weems. The other items on the consent agenda this evening are B, religious exemptions as we were given in our agenda packets, C, entrepreneurship and business academy evaluation recommendations as were presented at our meeting on September 19th, and D, some policy review committee recommendations as were presented at our last meeting. The chair will now entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda. Mrs. Riggs has made the motion. Mr. McDonald has seconded. The voting board is open. The consent agenda has been approved. The action part of our agenda has 2 items this evening as amended. The chair will entertain a motion to approve the personnel report and administrative appointments. The motion is made by Ms. Melnick, seconded by Mr. McDonald. Is there any discussion? Okay, the voting board is open. The personnel report and administrative appointments have been approved. Dr. Spence, would you like to introduce our new administrator?
I would. Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. If I could ask Matthew Callahan to please stand up. You all may recognize Matthew. He has served since 2005 in the division as both a teacher at Plaza Middle School, a CRS at Plaza Middle School, and Corporate Landing Middle School, and most recently as an instructional specialist for STEM education in the Department of Teaching and Innovation in the Department of Teaching and Learning. And I'm pleased that this evening you have approved our recommendation for him to serve as Coordinator of Instructional Technology in the Department of Teaching and Learning. Congratulations. And would you please introduce us to your guests?
I have my lovely wife and my 2 first graders over at North Landing, Keegan and Kinley.
So yeah, they might be the cutest guests of the year, so thank you for bringing them. And Madam Chairwoman, that's all.
Thank you, Dr. Spence. The chair will entertain a motion to allow our colleagues, Mrs. Weems, to submit her application to be considered as a candidate for the office of the chair of the Tidewater Region for VSBA. The motion is made by Mrs. McLeod, seconded by Mrs. Manning. Is there any discussion? Mr. Edwards?
I'm pleased that Mrs. Williams has stepped forward and is going to make time to represent the board at the state level.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Mrs. Manning?
I just, a lot of this is based on your experience and the things that you do in your schools. And Carolyn doesn't like to toot her own horn and brag about the things that she's doing in our school. And I would just like to recognize some of the things that she has done. She is being called by school divisions across the state based on her efforts to curb the opioid epidemic in our nation. And she was recently called by Arlington Public Schools to come and speak with their division about the things that we're doing here. And I know it's not easy for her as she deals with her own grief and loss of her daughter. So I know it's difficult for her. And so I just want to really commend her efforts of what you do for our students and saving lives and for parents and community members also. And there are plenty of other things that you're doing in our division as well, but I won't take the time to go into that. But I think that you would be a great representative for the Tidewater region on the VSBA.
Thank you, Ms. Manning. Seeing no further discussion, the voting board is open. The item has passed. Good luck, Mrs. Weems.
Thank you.
The first item under information is the appointment of a member of the Gifted Community Advisory Committee this evening. Welcome.
Good evening, Chairman Anderson, Vice Chair Edwards, school board members, Dr. Spence, ladies and gentlemen, I am Sandy Bealberry, your chairperson for the Community Advisory Committee for Gifted Education, the CAC. The committee would like to present the following membership recommendations to Dr. Spence and the school board. Cindy Becker, at-large appointment, please stand. Ms. Becker is a parent of 2 sons who are identified gifted, one attending high school and one attending middle school. Her profession is pharmacist. Ms. Becker is a proud graduate of the Virginia Beach City Public Schools and a participant in the gifted programs during that time. She said, "I know the value of these programs and the difference it makes in my education. We are very fortunate that these programs have continued and evolved into a multitude of opportunities for students at all levels. With 2 children now in the VBCPS, I have been very involved with the schools and that they have attended and would like to continue my involvement being a part of this committee. Ms. Becker is and has been an active volunteer in her school's division. She sees the need to challenge all students, especially gifted learners, with a variety of opportunities, both through the academy programs in their neighborhood schools. She has expressed a strong interest in contributing to the CAC, and the community highly recommends her for this at-large position. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, under information, we have the 2017-18 state accreditation status of our schools.
Good evening, Chairwoman Anderson, Vice Chair Edwards, members of the board, and Dr. Spence. I am Tracy Legata, the Director for the Office of Student Assessment, and this evening I will present to you the 2017-2018 state accreditation ratings for Virginia Beach schools. The table you see on the screen represents accreditation benchmarks that schools need to meet to be fully accredited for the 17-18 school year. High schools have an additional accreditation measure. Not only do they need to meet passing rates from the 4 core subject areas, they are also required to meet graduation and completion index of 85 or higher in order to earn full accreditation. Each student graduating with a board-approved diploma, a GED, certificate of program completion, and students who are still enrolled in school count when calculating the graduation and completion index. As noted on the screen, each of these completion outcomes contribute a different point value towards the graduation and completion index. As a reminder, our centers are not identified with a state accreditation status. These centers are the Adult Learning Center, the Advanced Technology Center, Renaissance Academy, and the Technical and Career Education Center. So in regards to state accreditation, how did Virginia Beach schools measure up? 100% of our schools have been identified as fully accredited for the 2017-2018 school year. The last time 100% of Virginia Beach schools were identified as fully accredited was 7 years ago in 2010-2011. The elementary schools listed here were not fully accredited last year and are now fully accredited. Bird Neck Elementary School and SeaTac Elementary and Achievable Dream. The middle schools listed here were not fully accredited last year and are now fully accredited. Bayside 6th grade campus, Bayside Middle, and Larkspur Middle. Last September, the Virginia Department of Education informed divisions of a new 3-year cycle for school accreditation. Schools that were fully accredited in 2013-14, 14-15, and in 15-16 were rated as fully accredited for the following 3 years. The accreditation status for the schools that were fully accredited these 3 years were not and will not be reviewed by the Department of Education until after the spring 2019 test administration. Schools that were not fully accredited for all of the 3 years reviewed have been and will continue to be reviewed each year until they are identified as fully accredited for 3 consecutive years. After 3 consecutive years of being identified as fully accredited, a school will have 3 years before its next review. The thought here is that schools in the 3-year cycle of full accreditation now have space to be innovative, to try something outside the box without pressure of accreditation. 71 of our 82 testing schools are in the 3-year cycle. These schools were fully accredited for the 3 years reviewed and are not up for review next school year. The 11 schools listed on the screen will be required to have their performance evaluated next year because they were not fully accredited for all of the 3 years reviewed. The Board of Education has proposed revisions to the current standards of accreditation, and we're actively holding public comment through October 6th. Final review and approval by the Virginia Board is expected in November. You can see in a brief summary posted on the screen of changes. Additional information is located on the Virginia Department of Education website. As you may have noticed, for the second year, we are not reviewing the status of our schools for federal accountability. Virginia is in the process of creating an implementation plan for the new Every Student Succeeds Act of 2015, otherwise known as ESSA. The new law and provisions of the plan to implement ESSA go into effect in fall 2018. During the third quarter, expect to hear from me again in regards to changes in the standards of accreditation as they relate to school accreditation, and again, once final decisions are made on the implementation of ESSA. I also want to point out that in your packet, you have received the annual assessment brief analyzing the SOL results by 5 years. And I'm happy to take any questions if you have any at this time.
Do we have any questions from the board? Ms. McLeod?
For the 3 years, is it a rotating? So as soon as you're accredited and you do 3 years in a row, then you have the 3 years?
Correct.
So it's wherever you pass the first time that 3 year starts. Is that correct?
Correct. Okay. Wherever whatever school has, wherever a particular school is in their 3 years, eventually our schools will not be on the same schedule. Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Item C under information is the Title IV grant.
Thank you. Good evening, Chair Anderson, Vice Chair Edwards, members of the board, and Dr. Spence. My name is James Pohl, and I'm the Executive Director of the Office of Secondary Teaching and Learning. This evening, I will provide you with an overview of the 2017-18 federal grant application for Title IV Part A, the Student Support and Academic Enrichment Grant. As you're likely aware, federal grant guidelines require school board approval of grant applications, and the Virginia Department of Education has established an application deadline of November 1st. I'd like to thank Dr. Monica Robinson, who's with me this evening, our coordinator of academic support programs, for her assistance in writing the grant and meeting with our private school partners, as well as our colleagues in the budgeting office who also are here with us tonight, for all their assistance. The opportunity to apply for the Title IV Part A grant under the Every Student Succeeds Act, or ESSA, was announced through the August 25th, 2017 Virginia Department of Education Superintendent's memo The Title IV Part A grant provides the opportunity to assist the division across broad areas of need, such as a well-rounded education, safe and healthy students, and the effective use of technology. This slide provides the allocated funding for the Title IV Part A grant. Each component of the grant has a maximum or minimum allocation. 20% or more of the grant must be used for well-rounded educational opportunities. 20% or more must be used for safe and healthy students, and no more than 15% of the funds may be used for effective use of technology. Funds should also be prioritized to serve students living in poverty. For the Title IV Part A grant under well-rounded educational opportunities, we suggest programming to support access to accelerated learning, strengthen instructional in various content areas, and ensure college readiness and on-time graduation. The proposed spending in this area is just over $183,000. For the Title IV Part A grant under Safe and Healthy Students, we suggest programming to support community and parent involvement, supportive school climates, dropout prevention, and programs to prevent bullying and harassment. The proposed spending in this area is just over $75,000. And for the technology, for Title IV Part A, under the effective use of technology, suggest programming that supports innovative learning projects, providing digital learning opportunities for underserved areas, and delivering specialized or rigorous academic courses and curricula using technology. Proposed spending in this area is just over $38,000. At this time, I'd be happy to address any questions or concerns you may have, and as will Dr. Monica Robinson.
Do we have any questions from the board? Ms. Manning?
I just had one question about the promoting the access to the AP courses. Is the only thing involved with that the paying of the testing fees, or is there anything else?
So for the AP courses, it will take over a grant that we no longer get for the free and reduced lunch students to pay for their testing fees. So this will give more access to students who need the assistance. So that's what this grant will provide.
Thank you.
Mr. Edwards?
Can you give us any other examples of from the different categories? Just, I mean, obviously it's a whole lot. Just give us 2 or 3 things. I mean, they were nice sounding generic things, but specifics would be.
Absolutely. No, so the AP is a big one. The funding for that is a little over $90,000. We're looking to do a second grad lab in the division. Where we would access a couple of schools that we would, with the lowest graduation rates and the highest needs, to provide them more support. We're looking to support the PBIS program we have in place and move that a little bit further and add newer cohorts to that. We want to do a bullying prevention training for middle schools, one for each middle school, sending a middle school representative to a national conference to be able to bring back and offer professional development on that. We want to increase our parent involvement programs. There will be a small need for additional technology for the grad lab. And then we also want to add what's called Khajiit, which is like a take-home Wi-Fi for Bayside High School, which is our school with the highest poverty level. And that will also help kind of connect what we're doing with Title I from the K-12 spectrum over there, where students who have a one-to-one technology but may not have the access at home, that would give them the access at home. So those are some of the items that we're looking at.
Okay, Ms. McLeod?
Just have to ask, so this Khajiit, it's basically a hotspot so they can get, okay, just, I assume that's what it was, but.
Absolutely.
Could I ask, what happens if another hotspot becomes available for students? What happens to that grant?
So each year we would put into the cost to purchase Khajiit is more than the cost to maintain. So if they have it available, the student could bring it back and we could recheck it out to another student. So it becomes just a piece of hardware that way. Is that what you were asking?
Not really. I was asking if there are other hotspots available for students.
So if it's something that, like, in years to come, let's say Virginia Beach goes citywide Wi-Fi, the ultimate dream, right? Then we would start to relook at how this grant is spent, and we just wouldn't spend it on that anymore.
Okay.
And we would have the hardware, but we wouldn't have to continue the access fee.
Thank you.
No problem.
Are there any other questions? Thank you very much.
No problem.
Next on the agenda, for item D, we have some textbook adoptions. The first one is for Tallwood High School Global Studies and World Languages Advanced Placement World History. And the next is for Ocean Lakes High School Math and Science Molecular Biology. So you are back again.
Absolutely. I love it. Fall's my favorite time, and I want to say I love this new podium because it holds a whole piece of paper. This is great. So good evening. It's me again. I'm here this evening to provide you with information regarding the Textbook Adoption Committee's selections for Advanced Placement World History, one of the courses offered as part of the Global Studies and World Languages Academy at Tallwood High School. The textbook recommended for consideration is scheduled for implementation in the fall of 2018. College Board does require the adoption of college-level texts for AP courses. The current text in place for AP World History was adopted in 2010 and has been in use for 7 years. Before presenting our recommendation, I'd like to thank the Global Studies and World Languages Academy Coordinator Rebecca Gurley, who is with us tonight, as well as a couple of her committee members and teachers at the Academy, and community experts for dedicating their time and efforts to choose the best textbook for our students. That's small. Sorry about that. We have proposed a 6-year adoption for the AP World History course. On the screen, you can barely see the recommended first choice textbook selection. The committee has selected Ways of the World, A Global History as a first choice for the course AP World History. This text aligns with the College Board curriculum framework for Advanced Placement World History. This text also provides a thorough understanding of world history from prehistory to present day, an integral part of the Global Studies and World Languages program of study. This textbook includes an optional accompanying resource, Strive to a 5, an AP test prep book. In addition, the committee recommends the purchase of a class set of Worlds Together, Worlds Apart as a companion reader. The committee felt strongly that the 3 resources together will provide students with the most comprehensive study of the content that will be assessed on the AP exam. This chart shows the implementation costs for this proposed adoption. The initial implementation cost for all 3 resources is just over $16,000, and the total implementation cost over a 6-year cycle is approximately $20,500. Thank you for the consideration of these the committee's recommendations. I have with me this evening Ms. Gurley, Director of the Global Studies and World Languages Academy, and we'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Ms. Melnick?
I don't think I've ever seen anyone so excited about a book, but I saw Kate and Jessica. I mean, Kate is just so excited, so I take that as a yes, and you're pleased. So, okay.
Are there any, Mrs. Rye?
Yes. So is this a required course for the Academy students? And I'm assuming they're each going to have their own copy. Okay.
They'll have their own copy of the textbook,
right,
but a class set of the companion book.
Yeah, thanks for clarifying. And that is pretty consistent with AP
correct
policy, right?
Thank you. Any other questions? Mr. McDonald?
Thank you. The test prep booklet, that is the optional resource that you have a class set of. Thinking back to my AP days and using the test prep books, they seem to be very like individual carry through, practice tests throughout the book, practice tests at the end of the book. Is a class set really enough, or are you photocopying these things to be done on worksheets? Like how does I'm just saying that's how I recollect those test prep booklets going. So how does that work as a class set?
So the fast track to a 5 comes 1-to-1 with the textbook. The Worlds and the Reader is a class set. So each student will have one they can take home. They're not to write in it, but they can have one to be able to take home.
Okay, I might have missed the first part of your answer. The test prep book specifically.
The fast track to a 5 is the test prep book. That comes 1-to-1 with the textbook. So we'll order one of those with every textbook, like a package. But the World's Reader is a standalone class set because they'll do the readings in class with that.
So will the students be able to actually write in the test prep
They
book?
can write on a piece of paper pretty close to it.
Okay. Thank you.
So if you, as the board, would like for them to have a copy, we can get you that price, but generally, we have not done that.
Ms. Melnick.
Are they available for purchase? My son brought home a sheet for his AP class, and we were able to purchase a test prep book for about $18.
So they are available for purchase, and also teachers generally will recommend a secondary test prep one to go even
Maybe
further
it was
than
secondary.
that.
Okay, all right.
Mrs. Felton.
Great presentation, thank you. Is this book, is it accessible online? Can you go online and you can as well?
Fully functional online.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions on this one? Okay, I think we're moving on to the next one.
All right. It's me again.
Ready.
So good evening again. I'm here at this time to provide you with information regarding the textbook adoption committee selection for Magnet Molecular Biology at the Ocean Lakes High School Math and Science Academy. The textbook recommended for consideration is scheduled for implementation in the fall of 2018, and the current textbook with a copyright date of 2008 has been in use for a period of 9 years now at Ocean Lakes High School. On the screen, you see the recommended No, I can't. Now, on the screen, you see the recommended first choice textbook selection. The adoption committee recommends this textbook for a variety of reasons, including the level of rigor included through a variety of interactive learning opportunities, as well as a robust digital. This chart shows the implementation cost for this proposed adoption. The initial implementation cost is just over $21,000, and the total implementation cost of the 6-year adoption cycle is approximately $27,000. And I was remiss in not thanking Mr. Mike King and his committee, being the coordinator of the Math and Science Academy. Thank you for your consideration as a board to the committee's recommendations. King and I are prepared to.
Ms. Manning.
I had a question that I think would be helpful maybe for the public to know the answer to. Dr. Cashwell was kind enough to answer my question about how we decide what textbooks are being used and how can the public get involved in making those decisions. Would you like to, you can probably explain it better than me.
So we, it's different with the Academy versus the general textbook. So let me explain the Academy one first, Department Academy. But we post online a call to review the textbooks. In the Academy situation, we place textbooks here in the school admin building as well as on site at the school. And we make the school community aware for the Academy that these are the textbooks that we're looking at. When we do a textbook across the division, it's a little bit more robust. We still post and we let everybody know that there's an action item to go and have the textbook reviewed. There, we also have the textbooks here. We have it at the Central Library and always one library location.
And people can sign up to a listserv in order to get those notifications to be able to participate.
They can, and they also can then leave comments at either site as well.
Thank you.
Ms. McLeod.
Regarding the book itself, is it a college level book?
It is, and it's in line with like an AP bio book.
Okay, well, that was my next question. So I know some of the academies, IB, Ocean Lakes, they don't necessarily, will this align up, or do you encourage students in the molecular biology class to take the AP molecular biology exam, and will this accomplish that for them? Thank you.
Mike King, Math and Science Academy coordinator. In reviewing the two books, the later book does align with the
Okay, so this is kind of a prerequisite to the AP. Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate that, sir.
Mr. Edwards.
Required course for All Academy?
Yes, sir. Molecular biology.
Right, okay. So, and your average class size is?
This year, it's right at about 22.
No, I mean total numbers.
Academy,
Right.
125.
Okay. And so the 15 books are spares?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Any other questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Our next item under information this evening is for the Lansdowne High School cell tower new lease.
Good evening, Chair Anderson, Vice Chair.
I think you should.
That's from an engineer. We've got on your agenda a cell tower lease. Wireless. This, it's interesting. This really caused me to go back to the history of our cell tower program. This will be our 12th cell tower. The vast majority of it was originally tower. Louder. I can holler. The original cell tower at Lansdowne High School was approved in 2010. We provided space on that tower for the city of Virginia Beach to provide an antenna for VBTV. Provided an empty space of the tower, which the city never utilized. Do I need to speak louder?
So the recording.
So the space on the tower was never utilized. We were approached by Verizon Wireless in an effort to provide another antenna. So we negotiated a lease that you have in front of you. The $40,000 lease will bring our annual lease revenue to almost $600,000 a year. So we generate revenue on the order of about $600,000 a year. It's in the test. Okay. So we're generating about $600,000 a year annually revenue from the cell tower lease. That goes towards our technology fund. Went back and looked, and over the course of the past 2 decades, we have generated almost $7 million in revenue help fund our technology. So, it's really become a model program throughout the country. Called the drop and swap program, where you take down a football field light pole, put up a cell tower, put the lights back on it. Don't know.
Any questions? Thank you, Mr. Arnold.
Thank you.
Our final item in information this evening is the budget calendar for fiscal year 2018-2019. Welcome, Mr. Hansiker.
Good evening, Chair. And Dr. We've laid the budget calendar options side by side. One on the far left is what we presented to you originally. You've had conversations last board meeting, workshop about the possibility of changing board meeting days, first Tuesday, third Tuesday, second. Once you make that decision, we have given you 2 additional options, and the administration is recommending option 3. Option 3 would allow you to continue pretty much the same
February and a special date 6 March. That option also allows you to have workshops. Our recommendation, make that decision. You do second. Recommend.
Okay, any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any standing committee reports? Good evening, Mr. McDonald.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As chair of the Legislative Committee, I want to thank those members of staff and the superintendent for facilitating a breakfast last Friday at the Advanced Technology Center with members of our delegation to the General Assembly. Following the presentation by Dr. Spence on our challenges and successes as a school division, those in attendance enjoyed a student-led tour featuring some of the outstanding courses offered at the ATC. Thank you to all who helped to organize this opportunity and to all those who attended. The Legislative Committee met this afternoon to continue work on our legislative agenda for the 2018 General Assembly session. We will be presenting a recommended agenda to the full board at a workshop on November 8th.
Thank you, Mr. McDonald. Mrs. Weems.
Yes, it's time to go get your pansies again for the CSEP biannual plant sale. It will be Friday the 13th. So you need to get out there so you won't have bad luck all day. I know I bought some, and it's really neat. And I think I got there right after Ms. Melnick did last year. But it's neat because the students are so proud of the plants that they grow, and I toured around all the plants and got one of the students to explain how to take care of them because I do not have a green thumb. But I promised him I was going to take such care of the plants that I bought. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to tell him Friday that it didn't work out, so I'm here to buy more. So, but
where is it?
Yeah, it's just a great thing. It's at the Renaissance Academy here, in Virginia Beach, and it's the 13th from 10 o'clock in the morning till 4. Also, CSEP is having several job fairs, and the one on this side of the water will be Saturday, October 14th, 9 to 12 at the CSEP Norfolk Center there on Princess Anne Road. Thank you.
Mrs. Holtz.
Actually have two. I am the liaison to the Sister Cities Association, and as you know, the Sister Cities supports international understanding, friendships, cultural and educational exchanges, and economic and tourist development activities. So at the end of this month, September and October, the last weekend, which was actually the end of the Neptune Festival, we welcomed a new city. So now one of our sister cities is from Germany, and it's Weibelin, Germany. I went to lunch with the group and the delegation, and I was with a little intrepidation because I figured Guten Morgen wasn't going to, be very good for a whole lunch period. But no problem. I sat next to a teacher. Every single one of them spoke perfect English. Later on in the afternoon, we all met at City Hall with the mayor, and they were officially sworn in. It was a beautiful ceremony, and so now we have 5 sister cities: Moss, Norway; Miyazaki, Japan; North Downcountry Island; Olongapo, the Philippines; and now this new one, Weibelin, Germany.
Thank you, Ms. Holtz.
And I also serve on the Mayor's Disability Committee. We meet once a month, but I usually don't mention that here because we talk mostly about things that serve adults. And though we do have kids with disabilities, of course, in our system, they usually have aides or attendants. And most of the people here live alone or with very little assistance. But we had a guest speaker, and they were talking about how to assist somebody who's blind, how to assist them in crossing the street. And I was saying, we ought to have some little signal. We see that little white walking figure. There ought to be something. They said, we do. I was very surprised to hear that. And they said there's one in Norfolk and there's one here in Virginia Beach. And the location is Farrell Parkway and Indian River Road. At that intersection where you have a Food Lion, when you press the button to cross the street, there's an audible signal that counts down for the blind. And I said, well, why don't we have more of those? That's fantastic. And they said, money. So we talk about money, so every committee needs money. Hopefully in the future we will do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Holtz. That concludes.
Ms. Rye.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ms. Rye.
Okay.
You do have.
Say a quick policy note. The next school board meeting will be an information presentation, but I want to remind you all that you've received already the draft agenda for the October 24th school board meeting. So within that, you will find the policies just, a little earlier than usual. So even before you get the actual full policy to review, feel free to reach out to myself or Ms. Riggs or Mr. Edwards if there's a particular policy of interest to you that you want to talk to us about. Okay? Thank you.
Any other?
Madam Chair.
Mrs. Felton.
Thank you. I'd just like to make an announcement and make my colleagues aware that for 5 years now, that it has been an organization called the Nonviolent Justice and Opportunity Planning Committee. And I've been asked to be a part of that committee, which is not a formal committee of the school board. I hope that in the future that we'll be able to find appropriate language, maybe to add it to our resolution agenda. I'd just like to say that the mayor of Virginia Beach does recognize this organization. It is 5 years old, and he did do a proclamation for that as well. It is a long proclamation, and I don't know if we have enough time for us to do that, but I like to make my colleagues aware of it and maybe pass this a proclamation and a letter on to them that we would consider this as being one of our agenda resolution for the future. Thank you.
Ms. Felton, maybe you could email that or forward that proclamation to all school board members?
I will.
Thank you. Ms. McLeod?
I'm sorry, I wasn't sure if Ternice was going to do this or not. I just want to let everyone know that the Facilities Steering Committee met on October the 4th at Bayside High School. It was 10 years ago that we had the last Facility Steering Committee where you go and you actually evaluate every single building of the 85 buildings that we have in Virginia Beach City Public Schools. The evening was an overview and to get to know the other people on the committee. Ternice and I were both there, as well as Councilwoman Rosemary Wilson and folks throughout the city. I bring this to your attention especially because there are going to be community forums that will come up, and so parents and community members should pay attention to those dates. I'm sure that Eileen will get those out so that they can give their input in regard to the facilities that we have for Virginia Beach schools. Thanks.
Thank you, Ms. McLeod. Are there any other standing committee reports? Okay, seeing none, that concludes our formal meeting. Madam Clerk, do we have